which the device which comes in with vendor lock-ins, where certain industrial collaborations imply that certain ways of accessing large networks like the internet. For example, you can use Google as a search engine and it's free, but the others aren't. And this is an interesting take, because this means that the publicness of the internet in some ways is compromised. And this also can imply, and possibly this might result in a future scenario where we'll see that the internet is free for those who can afford it and not free for those who cannot afford it, in the sense that if you want to access the government websites through your mobile, it might be more expensive to do that, and this quality of the internet that you're accessing might not be all right. So it's a very interesting political economy question. And in terms of sort of concluding based on, let me return to the initial feminist and information society framework that we came from, which Chloe defined. What we possibly wish to convey is that there is a need for us to be, in order to really capture the needs of the marginalized, and here we're making the point for gender justice, is that we maybe need to have a shift in perception where we do not look at the female user of the mobile, but we begin to sort of view how development can be, how the development of the marginalized mobile female subject can undergo change. And for this, we feel that there is a need to frame the networks in such a manner that there is a realignment of informational, associational, and communicative powers in the favor of the marginalized subject. And secondly, we feel that mobility, connectivity, and hybridity issues addressed through supporting are addressed through supporting informational commons, public information network, neutral ecologies. Thank you very much for your patience, and any questions?
Thank you for that. I just have a very quick question. Have you also, along with this study, done any kind of study or gathered any kind of insight about the possible influence of mobile telephones in the behavioral change of society or human being?
Actually, we approach, IT4Change approaches this, we don't looking specifically into behavioral studies as such, because I think there's ample amount of data in terms of, I think how, in terms of usage and how, we ourselves have seen how women, for example, because we're talking about gender justice, have, in that sense, and in fact, this is fundamental to the question that we're asking of this network currently, is that is the woman, for example, the one with the triple burden, is she becoming more efficient as a user who's able to manage these three burdens better than before, or is she becoming a person who is able to contest her social realities and move out of that? And I think that's an interesting behavioral plus social change question. We don't do behavioral studies, but we do try to locate marginalized women in their social realities.
Any insight you may have gathered during your social study?
Well, insights in terms of what specifically, I would ask?
Just because society change, because when the individuals changes, it can't be otherwise.
Yeah, well, like I said, our mapping in terms of that shows that obviously there is a shift, and there is in the abilities that in terms of the networks women are able to access, in terms of the efficiencies in their lives, in terms of adding security to their lives, all of those, that shift is evident. But I think our question is going beyond that. It's a larger question of structural realignments, in that sense of a woman being able to, whether this network also is enabling her to transcend beyond her material sort of location and move beyond that. That is the question. I think I wouldn't doubt that there are a lot of advantages that women have definitely gained from using the mobile phone. It's fairly obvious. Our visit to Seva, for instance, where Seva has been plugging mobile phones quite a lot because, in fact, they've been, the Seva Bank has been giving women interest-free loans, etc., to buy the tool, and it supports them at various levels, and it's the first instrument because it's an individual-owned asset and it's easier to use than many other ICTs. It definitely has an impact, and it definitely is the first ICT in that sense that internalized and sort of accommodated into women's lives. But the questions are larger in terms of to what extent and what they do.